Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Please leave a like so this video gets recommended to others, and consider subscribing. You know, it really helps out the channel when you do that. That's probably the biggest way you can help the channel. But yeah, with all that out of the way, let's see what we got today. We are live.
Sleep paralysis is a gift because it is literally the gateway to astral projection. Once you embrace the fact that, like, you know what I'm saying, you can't move or whatever, once you don't psych yourself out, you remain calm, you know what's the next level? You literally move out your body. You literally move out your body. You know what I'm saying? It's like, the government definitely don't want us to know that. Like, they don't, like, the government actually classifies astral projection as remote viewing. Once you're able to, like, in this realm, like, you see how we're all up and we're awake? You see how we walked into this building? Now that our consciousness is familiar with this space, we can revisit it as a ghost or as a spirit through astral projection. Bro, I don't know about y'all, but I'm able to fly off my balcony as often as I want to and, like, go explore the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've done it a few times, and it's like a muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger you get. So all the kids out there, don't be afraid of sleep paralysis. If you're having that, you're actually gifted.
Interesting perspective.
Sleep paralysis is a gift because it is literally the gateway to astral projection.
Sorry, I'm just allergic to bullshit. Let me save you some time and get to the actual meaning. Sleep paralysis is a gateway, but it's not for astral projection. It's for something much more powerful and real. In that video, they said, once you embrace the fact that you can't move, once you don't psych yourself out, you know what's the next level? You literally move out of your body. The government doesn't want you to know about that. Which is cute, but it's not even close to the actual meaning. My name is Jesse Lyon. I'm a professional dream researcher, and this is what it actually means. Sleep paralysis is actually a gateway for lucid dreaming, which is a scientifically researched and proven mental state. When you dream, your mind is healing itself and fixing your mental health problems. Lucid dreaming allows you to actively participate in these dreams so you can find peace and gain insight. And if you want to learn the real science of what your dreams mean, just tap follow.
Dreams carry messages. Dreaming is a low-powered astral projection. You are leaving the physical body, the conscious mind, into the subconscious realms of the astral imagination realm. Astral plane is the screen in your mind that allows you to imagine an apple. If you see Jesus in your dream, this is not Jesus. It is your belief materializing in the fourth dimension, the imagination realm. You know when you have them dreams when people are chasing you? This is a negative aspect of your mind which is materializing itself. All of the trauma, all of the negative events that have happened are stored within your subconscious, and these are materializing itself and showing it to you in your dreams. Everything in your dream is an aspect of your own mind, therefore it is showing you messages. If you cannot control your dreams, this is your subconscious controlling the dream. You can advance physically and get big muscles, and you can advance mentally, accessing other worlds beyond physicality. You can't control your dreams because you think it's just a dream, when it's not. It's actually a whole other reality. You are a multi-dimensional consciousness. You must remove the program of it's just a dream. Before you go to sleep, consciously think and feel and believe that you will control your dream. Throughout the day, you need to be doing reality checks by pinching yourself and saying, am I dreaming? This will train your subconscious mind to say this while you are dreaming, and when you pinch yourself in your dream, you will become lucid. Once you are lucid, you can then go gain knowledge and do whatever you want in the realms of the mind. Whatever you do, never look into a mirror.
Oh, here we go.
The sleep paralysis demon of Arabian folklore. Across Arabia and surrounding regions there are tales of Al-Jathum, a female jinn that would sit on the chest of those sleeping and cause them to be paralyzed. In Islam and Arabian folklore there are creatures called jinn. They are not spirits but understood as another creation of God, just like humans. Creations that possess free will and are quite powerful. Jinn are not inherently good or bad, just like humans they come in variety. But Al-Jathum is a jinn that seeks suffering. The stories of Al-Jathum were likely early attempts at explaining sleep paralysis. And though her stories are quite widespread, she's not mentioned in any Islamic texts. Tell me, my friend, will you be seeing Al-Jathum tonight? I hope not.
Yeah, I've heard of this feeling of someone on your chest.
Shadow
during
people
sleep
are
paralysis.
figures you often see out of the corner of your eye. You aren't sure what you saw. It might have looked like a person, or your mind was perhaps filling in the gaps. Rarely you'll ever get a good look at them. They're pitch black with a rough, humanoid form. They almost look like they're made from the shadows themselves. Some are seen as the size of a human adult, others are short like children, some are solid black, and others are smoky. They're believed to be spirits or demons, but other theories think they might be aliens, or possibly native interdimensional beings. They live on the earth, walk among us, but they're able to slip in and out of different dimensions. One theory suggests that these beings might actually be your own dead spirit, watching your life play back like a movie at the moment of your death.
And you had said that about the DMT release, right? It's like you watch your life back very quickly.
Others think they're here to abduct us for some unknown reason, and those who are abducted might experience interdimensional travel, which might take an incredible toll on the human mind. If you're lucky, the paralysis will end before the shadow person can snatch you right out of your bed. One of the most common entities that people see during sleep paralysis is a terrifying woman. She's been nicknamed the Old Hag, or the Night Hag. People have experienced her terror say it starts with a simple feeling late at night, right as they open their eyes. It's a feeling that you're being watched from somewhere in the room. Your body is now a prison. As you lie in bed unable to move, the hairs on your neck stand up. A nasty smell fills the room as the sound of footsteps draws near. The room is pitch black, and you can only see her figure when she's nearly on top of you, and the first thing you notice is her dull red eyes. The rest of her face is hidden beneath a large hood. She raises her hands, and you see her long fingers reach toward you. She moves closer, and you begin to see her face, and a long crooked nose sticks out from beneath the hood. As she smiles, you see her pointed teeth are green and decaying. She's somehow sharpened her teeth. She then puts a foot on your chest, or just sits on you, shifting her weight so it's hard to breathe. No matter how hard you try, you can't move or scream for help. Her weight crushes you as you gasp for air, but as the terror rises, you're suddenly released. You can breathe and move again, and the room is empty. If there's one thing that's comforting about the experience, is that you're not alone.
It sounds horrifying.
If you see him while you're awake, run. So this story actually comes from a Reddit user who's a therapist. And this user had a patient who was coming in complaining of seeing Hatman at night. This patient would apparently wake up in the middle of the night to see Hatman standing at the foot of their bed, watching them sleep. And as a result, they were not really sleeping much. So the therapist prescribed some pretty heavy sleeping medication, and as a result, the patient starts getting a little better. But then one day, the patient comes in and just looks like they had seen a ghost. So the therapist asked them what was wrong, and they said that as they were getting in the car to come to therapy, they saw Hatman standing across the street during the day. This therapist had only ever heard of Hatman when it came to patients waking up in the middle of the night and seeing him, never when they were already awake doing things in the middle of the day. So the patient is terrified, but the therapist thinks this might be a side effect of the medication. It takes a little while to get used to. But that was the last time the patient ever came to see the therapist.
Creepy stuff.
The Hatman feeds off of children's emotions. That's why specifically children see him frequently. And for those that aren't familiar, this is the Hatman. The Hatman is a type of shadow person, but not all shadow people are Hatman. And not all shadow people are evil. But I believe, and a lot of people believe with me, that the Hatman is evil. Let me explain why. So like I said, the Hatman often appears to children. Children are notoriously not good at emotional regulation. The Hatman feeds off of strong emotions. While not always negative emotions, it is oftentimes negative emotions. The Hatman also appears to victims of trauma, who are also having issues with emotional regulation. My and other people's hypothesis is that the Hatman are feeding off of these strong emotions, much like a parasite. And he doesn't always appear threatening because he doesn't want to scare off the host, us. So that's why you'll see some people say that, oh, he's just a watcher, or he protects, because he'll lure people into a false sense of security to keep feeding on them. But what do you think?
I think children are much more sensitive to that type of thing and see something.
Okay, you guys forced my hand. Hi, I'm your favorite dysfunctional scientist, and today I'll tell you about the lucid dreaming study with the first ever two-way communication between two people who were sleeping in different places. How did they do it? First, we have to know a little bit of background. Do you remember when I told you that you could map out people's dreams and even record them in images using an MRI? And that I believe that we can do the same thing with the portable EEGs. I'm actually working with someone to make the code to do that. However, when you are dreaming, you're not entirely out. It may feel like you've been transported to another land, but you're still there. In a lucid dreaming state, that's where people are aware that they're in a dream. I myself dream every night, multiple times a night. Even if I'm lucid dreaming, I still can't control the dream because all my dreams are nightmares. However, you may notice that when you're dreaming, you can interact with the outside world. You could hear your alarm, and that might end up becoming part of your dream. If you sleepwalk, like I do, I'll get up and walk around and interact with the world around me. I might even open the front door. Once I come to, I remember everything that I did, but I was still able to interact even though I was technically asleep. Researchers had found that they could actually communicate, talk to people when they're dreaming. There's a lot of technology out there right now, like the personal portable EEGs that can record brain activity when you're sleeping. In this study, they did kind of the same thing as communicating with people while they're sleeping, except they communicated with them and told them to say a word while they're in a lucid dream state. This information was then recorded and transmitted to another sleeping person at another location using technology designed to do so, and then they were able to report back what that message was. Does this mean that when you are sleeping, you end up in some kind of ether and can communicate psychically, telepathically? No. This is technology applied in kind of a weird way. And honestly, I don't like it. I want my dreams to remain private.
Sounds pointless. But I never remember my dreams.
Why is 3 a.m. considered the witching hour, or the time of night where spooky stuff happens? The origin of this belief stretches back as far as 1535, where Catholic churches in Europe prohibited any activities at 3 to 4 a.m. due to high amounts of witchcraft. Also, it is known that in the Western Christian tradition, these hours are related to higher amounts of paranormal activity. So, it is referred to as the devil's hour, due to it being a mocking of the hour where Jesus died, which was believed to be at 3 p.m. Now you know if someone asked you.
It's the witching hour. So the way that the occult works is the first 3 hours of the new day is when they get started. That's from midnight to 3 a.m. And what they do is equivalent to a church service. If you think of a church service, we sing and worship the Lord, and you know, he's enthroned in our praises, and we preach and pray and everything. And then we hope that out of what we have done, the kingdom of God is extended in the earth. That's the whole goal, right? So witches do the same thing, and they meet together and they enthrone demons, some by their words and incantations, but mainly by paying them in blood. Life is in the blood. So blood, innocent blood, is money in the spirit realm. You pay for things to be done in blood. And there's a whole economy of blood. So the very highest blood is an innocent male child. And then it goes to an innocent female child. And then it goes to children in general. And there's a certain amount for a priest or a pastor. On it goes down to just any living human. And if you can't get that, then you degrade to oxen or a horse or a llama, and it goes all the way down to actually to birds and even down to insects. And for things that are lesser than that, there's cursed corn, and they do all kinds of stuff. So anyway, that's the economy of evil. So covens meet, and from midnight to 2 a.m. they conjure, and they do blood sacrifices, and they do all kinds of things to make demons happy and to barter with them for a favor of some sort. So it's like the barter system, like, how much for this? No, you need some more, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they barter with them, and then they send them to do their bidding at 2 a.m. That's why all horror movies that you'll ever see, you'll see the clock strike 2, because from 2 to 3, that's the witching hour. From midnight to 2, they have done their conjuring. They've paid demons in blood. They've done their deal with the devil. And at 2 o'clock, the devils are sent out to do their bidding and basically to deliver on the promises that were paid for in blood.
That's very interesting.
Have you ever been in a dream and you thought that you woke up, but then you realized you actually didn't and you're still dreaming? This is what we call a false awakening dream, or a false awakening loop. I'm Kat. I'm an individual and relationship therapist, as well as a person who has narcolepsy. You don't have to have a sleep disorder to have a false awakening, but it is really common for people diagnosed with sleep disorders such as hypersomnias and narcolepsy to experience things like lucid dreaming, night terrors, and false awakening loops. So when you go to sleep at night, your body releases hormones that prevents you from acting out your dreams. And people who have hypersomnias, or sometimes people who are just really, really stressed, or people who have a very dysregulated sleep cycle, these hormones get a little messed up. And I'm not a neurologist, but I'm just explaining how it has been explained to me and what I know as a person with a sleep disorder, and also as a therapist who works with people often on their sleep hygiene. When we have dysregulated sleep cycles, when we are stressed out, we are more likely to be more symptomatic. And a lot of people, even without sleep disorders, will experience maybe one night of sleep paralysis in their lifetime, whereas people with hypersomnias have it quite regularly. For me, for instance, I have had night terrors, sleep paralysis, and this false awakening cycle at least twice this week. For a lot of people, this can be really scary because once you realize that you're like still asleep, but you can't move your body and you can't speak and you can't get out of your dream, you start to imagine scary things, whether that's inside of your dream, like a lucid dream, or if your eyes are open and you can't move, and you start to imagine reasons why you might not be able to move in your bedroom. As an example, if you're wondering if this has happened to you, the one that I had last night, I would think that I was awake, and then I would be like, oh no, I'm not awake, I'm in a dream. And in my dream, I would like crawl on the floor and try to get out of the room, and I would start to be like, help me, but like, when I'm asleep, it's probably more like, you know? A lot of people try to get out of lucid nightmares, night terrors, and false awakenings by yelling for help, but it's not always helpful. It can sometimes feel like in your dreams someone has drugged you, or for some reason you've become immobile. And that is because you are logically recognizing that there is a chemical in your body preventing you from moving. This is why it's so terrifying. If this happens to you, here's another way that you can try to get out of that dream. Wiggle your hands and toes. If you try to wiggle your fingers and toes when you recognize that you are in fact still asleep, it will sometimes help your body understand it's time to release the hormones that allow you to move. And once you are awake, get up for 10 to 15 minutes to fully reset before trying to go to bed again. Because if you try to go to bed again immediately, you're likely to get stuck in the same loop. That's just my experience as a narcoleptic individual and therapist.
That's terrifying.
Your dreams are important. Pay attention to them. They are putting you into another reality, showing you that there's another reality than this 3D objective world that is bounded by our five senses, that there is another side to you. Just like you have an etheric body, you can enter into the fourth and fifth dimension, which is not real in the 3D sense, but it exists. People who can get out of their body can go anywhere they want and do amazing things, even though the rest of us haven't learned how to do that yet. But it's possible that all of us can do that. And what wonderful surprises would we encounter if we had an out-of-body experience and we could do that at will?
Yeah, you know, that's amazing. I think the whole concept of dreaming is fascinating to me. We spend so much of our lives asleep, yet I rarely ever remember my dreams. But that false awakening dream, that sounds absolutely horrifying. How could you trust your reality ever again if you got up, went about your day, started brushing your teeth, just to wake up again, to go do it again? That's to me, that sounds like the most horrifying thing that you could ever experience. Over the old hag, over anything like that. I don't scare easily, but I've never experienced this, right? Regardless, the whole thing sounds very, very crazy. So I hope all of you have a good sleep tonight, and none of you actually experienced this. Maybe the lucid dreaming, that sounds pretty cool. But that's all I got tonight, guys. So I guess I'll see you in the next one. And until then, 80 Canadian, signing off.